Hello everyone, I'm Sadiksha Sudan Asnodkar, first year BMS student studying at Gomantak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya College and Research Center, Goa. I'm provided with Mala Pariksha as my non-lecture PV project. Under Mala Pariksha, I'll be focusing on Purisha Mala. In Ayurveda, we have 8 folds of examination technique. Nadi, which is the examination of pulse, Mutra, which is the examination of urine, Purisha, which is the examination of stool, Jiva, which is the examination of tongue, Shabda, examination by organ of hearing, Sparsha, palpation, Drug, direct observation or inspection, Akriti, examination of whole body. Mala. What is Mala? The constituents of body which can vitiate the body is called as Mala. There are two types of Mala, Sharirik Mala and Dhatu Mala. Dhatu Mala is again subdivided into three, Purisha, Mutra and Sweda. Purisha is Prithvi Mahabhuta dominant. Undigested food material forms the major bulk of Purisha. Purisha Srotas is the site of formation and excretion of Purisha. Quantity of Purisha is 8 Anjali. After the digestion of food, the Sarabhaga, which is the nutrient portion, gets absorbed in the body and the remaining undigested part becomes solid, and that is what we call as Purisha. Functions of Purisha. Avashtamba, to give support, is the function of Purisha. Purisha is formed and eliminated from Purisha Vaha Srotas. Another function is Dharana of Vayu and Agni. Formation and regular elimination of Purisha maintains this cycle. There are two types of Purisha, Sama Purisha and Nirama Purisha. Let's talk about Sama Purisha Lakshana. When Purisha combines with Dosha, Dhatu and other malas, it manifests diseases accordingly. It sinks in water, it gets foul smell, its quantity increases and so does its frequency, its color changes and even the consistency. Now in Nirama Purisha Lakshan, there is no amalgamation of dosha, dhatus and malas. Hence normal frequency and normal quantity, no foul smell, Purisha comes out without any difficulty, feeling of life. Now let's discuss about disorders of Purisha. Now first, let's take Purisha Vriddhi, which is the symptom of increased Purisha. Adman, which is abdominal distension due to gas. Atopa, in which there is guggling of intestine. Gaurava is the feeling of heaviness in abdomen. Now, drinking water with ghee, Swedana, abdominal massage and Basti are helpful in this condition. Now, let's come to Purusha Shaya, which is symptoms of decreased in Purisha. Abdominal discomfort, guggling of intestine, pain in flanks and cardiac regions are the symptoms of Purisha Shaya. Green leafy vegetables, fibrous food, pulses are helpful in this condition. Now, let's come to the important part, which is diseases associated with Purisha. The first one, Atisara, which is diarrhea. In this condition, stool which passes out is watery. Now let's take the second condition, which is Pravahika, which is dysentery, which is also loose motion in common terms. Third, Arsa, which is pile, in which blood passes with stool. Fourth, Mala Avasthamba, which is constipation. Stool is hard in this condition and it is difficult to pass. Next, we have Purisach Krimi Roga, problems related to stool because of helminths. Now, there are several diseases associated with stool, but I have taken only this few. Purisha is a Vega, which means natural urge, which should not be held. Adharnya Vega. If we hold Purisha for a long time, following diseases will occur.
प्रकृतः पिण्डिकोद्वेष्ट प्रतीशाय शिरोरुजः ऊर्ध्ववायुपरिकर्तो हृदयस्योपरोधनं मुखेन विटप्रकृतिश्च पूर्वक्तश्च अमायः स्मृताः. Pindikodveshta is twisting pain of calf muscles. Pratikshaya is running nose. Shirorucha meaning headache. Urdhva is upward movement of vata. Parikarta is anal itching sensation. Hrudayasya uparodhana is feeling stiffness in chest region. Mukhena vit pravritti is fall breath. Now let's talk about line of treatment for diseases which occur when we hold Purusha. Varti abhyanga avgascha svedanam basti karmascha annapanam cha vidabedi vidarodhochu yakshmasu. Varti, which is rectal and urethral suppositories. Abhyanga, which is oil massage. Avagha, which is tube bath. Svedana is sweating therapy or sedation therapy. Basti karma is rectal enema. Annapanam cha vidabedi, all food that help to induce purgation should be administered. Now let us discuss about why Purusha Pariksha has to be done. That is importance of Purusha Pariksha. Purusha Pariksha as such gives information about so many physiological and pathological states of body as listed below. Status of Agni, which is digestive fire, symptoms of abnormal doshas, body humors, prognosis of disease, presence of parasites, etc. Now, let us come to the most important part of this topic, methods of examination of Purusha in Ayurveda. Now, there are two methods described in Ayurveda. The first one is physical examination of stool and the second one is Jala Nimachana Purusha Pariksha to detect the presence of Ama. Let us take the first one, physical examination of stool. Under this, there is Chakshu Pariksha, which is inspection. Through Chakshu Pariksha, one can assess color, consistency, presence of froth, abnormal constituents, etc. Next we have Granaja Pariksha, which is examination by order. By Granaja Pariksha, the order of the stool can be examined. Changes in order of stool also can provide information about the altered pathological state of Agni. Then Sparsha Pariksha, which bases on differences in touch only one can diagnose the altered state of the disease. Next, Prashna Pariksha, which is interrogation, and this is something like most important method of examination which gives us a lot of information about the condition of patient. Next we have Jala Nimachana Purusha Pariksha, examination of stool by dipping in water. This is the only objective method which was used in ancient times to detect the presence of Ama in stool. Ama is considered as an important cause not only for the gastrointestinal disorders but as the cause of many systemic diseases such as Jwara and Amavata. To detect the early presence of Ama, a special methodology which was used, that is Jala Nimachana Purusha Pariksha. In this method, by observing the behavior of stool, that is whether it sinks or floats in water, is noted down. Now, let us come to the next part, which is examination of stool in modern. There are two methods, macroscopic examination and chemical examination. First, let's talk about macroscopic examination. Macroscopic examination, in which we detect the color, which should be normally brown. Order, which varies with pH stool and depends on bacterial fermentation and putrefaction. Consistency, plastic, not unusual to see seeds and vegetable skin. Soft and bulky in high vegetable diet, small and dry in hard meat diet. Size and shape formed. Gross blood should be absent, mucus should be absent, and pus also should be absent. Parasites should be absent, fat, colorless neutral fat 18%, fatty acids, crystal and soaps. Undigested, none to small amount of food, meat, fibers, starch, trypsin. Eggs and segments of parasites should be absent, yeast should be absent, leukocytes should be absent. Now let us discuss about the chemical composition. pH normally should be neutral to weakly alkaline. In adult, it should be 7 to 7.5. In newborn, it should be 5 to 7. In bottle-fed infants, it should be neutral to slightly alkaline pH. In breastfed infants, it should be slightly acidic. Through chemical composition, we also detect the occult blood, urobilinogen, porphyrins, nitrogen, bile, and trypsin. I have also done a case study by which I have found out answers to the following questions. Stool occur every day for majority of people, which is quite good. My second question was number of times stool occur a day. Majority of people say that it is just once, which is really bad. Third, consistency of stool. Majority say that it is smooth and soft, which is good. Fourth, stool color. Yellow, says majority of people, which is again really good. Fifth, stool occurs without pain, says majority, which is again excellent. Sixth, while flushing for the first time, stool sinks, says majority, which is again good. Do you fart? Rarely, says majority, which is again good. Do you face with diarrhea, constipation, loose motion? Rarely, says majority of the people, which is really good. Hence, all this once a while is not at all unhealthy. It is in fact a healthy condition. Any other associated diseases with your stool? No, says majority. Any other abnormality with your stool? Again, no, says majority. Have your stool been ever tested? No, says majority again. But if you find any abnormality with your stool, you should definitely get your stool tested. We can also find out the doshas by checking the stool. Vata dosha, Druda and Shushka. Druda is rigid, Shushka is dried. It is also blackish in color. It is dry and hard, which is difficult to pass. Pitta, Shithil, loose and yellowish, which is not difficult to pass. Kapha, Shevda Varna, whitish color and oily in nature.
I come to the conclusion. So, Purusha once a day is obviously unhealthy. It should be at least twice or thrice a day. If you find any abnormality with your stool, please do consult a doctor. And people should be educated more about diseases related to Purusha. If we consider patients' education and patients' treatment, patients' education should be given more priority. Because if we educate people properly, then there will be no need for a treatment. So with this, I conclude. Thank you so much, Mohanty ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to present this topic as a non-lecture PPT.